Maheshwari as well joins in on the show right now. Nischal, hi, afternoon. Good to have you on the show. Gets defense stocks, Nischal, they're back in the fray. A lot of order wins as well. And now sentimentally too, you're seeing a tilt towards these names. What are your thoughts?
Afternoon. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I think basically given the geopolitical situation, I think we are having this kind of a trade there. But having said that, I think especially in March, there were a lot of orders basically which have gone out to all these companies. And I think partially that is also getting reflected. These stocks are underperformed for some time initially, and sort of a catch-up game. But at these prices, I think once again, the valuations are going to now start becoming looking pretty expensive for most of them. So you need to be cautious basically. Yeah, it's a good trade, but I think for long-term buying, this is not the point.
Nischal, so are markets really worried about the geopolitical tensions? What are markets pricing in? I mean, is this something which is a real risk per se, or markets are saying it's time to move on?
So, afternoon, Nikunj. I think, see the situation at the moment, I don't think so. Market is pricing in a very big escalation. So as we go along, and if there is, I'm saying the escalations are much higher than expectation, then you might see market reacting negatively. But historically, we have seen that after the initial few days, we have seen in Ukraine war or even during the earlier skirmishes which India and Pakistan had, I don't think the market reacted very negatively except for a few initial days because there was never any escalation beyond a point. So I think if that is the kind of situation, I think market is just maybe take a breather for a few days and then go ahead basically looking at the earnings and everything else. So that is the situation at the moment.
We have what could be called as this 90-day window. The tariff negotiations have been paused for 90 days. So out of 90 days, 30 days are approximately over. 60 days are left. The point is what will happen after 90 days? Does this market have a shelf life for 60 days and then volatility will kick back? कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा है निश्चल, कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा है. Nobody is talking about this deadline of 90 days. See, Nischal is saying I cannot hear him. Even he's lost his voice. Or the see on tariff, everybody is losing voice. Nischal. Okay, now you'll have to unmute. Again, I can't hear him. I can see him.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this tariff has made everybody speechless. I accept it now. Now please go ahead.
I'm also speechless. So everybody wants to forget that phase basically. But I think 90 days later, it is going to come and bite us. And one thing is becoming clear, basically, it's not going to be the basic 10%, which initially everybody of us had thought. And the market, I think it should be closer to 20% kind of a number across the world. And that's not going to be a good thing. So that is what my worry remains to be. Yes, you are right. Basically, nobody's talking about it. But when the reality strikes 60 days later, I think there has to be an adjustment across the world. So this is going to be so that's why I think the market, the nervousness is there basically, whether it is because of the geopolitical issues or I think the larger issue still remains to be tariffs, where it is going to finally settle. Now, yesterday, I think Trump has said that there is going to be few components in the auto component side where he's going to be lowering the tariffs. Instead of a 25 or 45% for various countries, he's looking at a few components. That's why you're seeing some of these auto component stocks today doing well. So I'm saying it's going to be totally bilateral, industry by industry. So there is no clarity. And I think that is what is going to actually impact the growth across the world. When you do not have clarity on these kind of things, nobody is going to be putting fresh capacities, fresh growth capital out there. And that's what is going to slow down the whole economy, the world economy, and the countries within. And that's what the market is worried about.
Nischal, great to have you on the show as always and finally get your audio on what's really going to happen after this 90-day long period. But we'll take a very...
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.